welcome to the Phoenix Rise podcast. I'm so happy to be back. It feels like it's been forever. I know it probably hasn't, and I actually have been recording some podcasts recently, but it feels like I've just been away for so long, and I've been doing so many guest podcasts that it feels like a long time since we've been intimate. So hi, welcome to the Phoenix Rise podcast. If you're new here, welcome to the tribe. This is the space where we talk all things spirituality, success, and business. Yes, and business. Because guess what? You get to have it all. There's no sacrifice needed over here. You are worthy of it all, babe. Now, I have got a very special 6 day, let's start that again. A very special 6 day mini series, which I'm going to do on the podcast. I'm going to release a new episode every day. They're going to be short and sweet. Hopefully around 10 minutes or so. You know, I can talk. So let's see how that goes. But I am going to be diving deep into the framework that we are going to be covering in the Elevate Mastermind. So every day, each episode is going to dive into one of the frameworks that we're going to be covering in the Elevate Mastermind, how it's going to help you, how it's going to transform your life, the way that you show up in your business, and the success that you are able to see, and how we're going to start collapsing that timeline so you haven't got to wait around as long as it's taken others ahead of you, right? It took me 8 years of hustle, grind, and burnout to finally realize that there was a better way, to finally realize that actually this gets to be fun. This gets to be easy. This gets to be living your best life. No sacrifice needed. And I am walking evidence of that. So if you're in doubt, just look at my story. Look at everything that I've been through, everything that I've experienced, and where I am now. If I can do it, damn sure as hell you can do it, because it's there for all of us. Abundance is there for all of us. So with that being said, let's dive in, because I promised short and sweet, and I've already probably rambled for a few minutes. So day one, we are going to dive in to the framework one. Now, this is part of the Visionary Framework, which is my signature methodology, which has 7 steps which encompass it, right? So in the Elevate Mastermind, we are doing 6 of them because it's a 12-week mastermind, and that just made sense. So we're doing 2 weeks for each. So the step 1 is identity. So this is what we're going to dive into now. Now, most people, when you say identity work, they think, okay, how I look, how other people see me, maybe how I talk, how I present myself. That's a lot of people's preconceptions as to what it means when we talk about identity work. But it's deeper than that. That's very surface level stuff. So when we're talking about identity work, it's really about embodiment work. It's about who are you now? Who really are you now behind closed doors? What's going on up here? What stories are you telling yourself? What narratives are playing around in this mind over and over again on repeat? Because the thoughts that we have up here affect the actions that we take, affect the opportunities that we put ourselves out there for, affect what we think is or isn't possible for us, and ultimately affect what we magnetize into our field, because your 3D world is a direct reflection of your internal world. So if outwardly you're thinking and projecting yourself and portraying yourself as this new version of you, right? This go-getter, this successful entrepreneur, this thought leader that you know you're here to be, but it's a facade. It's more of a fake it till you make it kind of stance. The energetics don't line up. The energetics don't match. Because you can't trick energy. You can't trick what is going on in your mind. You have to be it. You have to truly believe it. And the way that you do that is by living it. So this is all about bridging that gap, right? It's about unlearning all of those stories, all of those blocks, all of those narratives that we've all attached ourselves to over our childhood, over our upbringings, over our adulthood, over the way that society just puts on us, right? And this is about unlearning, unconditioning that, rewiring that for our new beliefs that are going to actually help us get to where we want to be, not hinder us, not hold us back, not keep us locked in this cage that we've been trapped in, that we've been trying to break out of for so long. And yet, no matter what we do, it's like we're bashing our head against a brick wall. No matter what we seem to do, we cannot break free. This is because our mindset is not yet of the person that we need to be to live the life that we want to live. This is ultimately what it boils down to. So how do we bridge that gap? It starts with the identity. Getting clear as fuck on who you need to be. What does the future version of you look like? And I don't physically mean, yeah, we can talk about that, but what does their life look like? What do their routines look like? What do their habits look like? What does their daily schedule look like? What are the thoughts going around in their head? What are their narratives? What does their action look like? What kind of action do they take? How are they showing up in the world? How are they presenting themselves to the world? What opportunities are they putting themselves out for? What are they saying yes to? What are they standing for? How are they portraying themselves in their speech, in their actions, in their thoughts, in the way they look, in the circles that they put themselves around, in the places that they go, in the acquaintances that they have, in the collaborations that they do or don't go for? This all comes down to our identity, because if we don't truly feel like that person, we're not going to say yes to that opportunity. We're not even going to consider it because we don't feel like we're ready for it. We're not going to approach someone for a potential collaboration if we feel like they're maybe out of our league, right? They don't see us as an equal. We're lower down on the ladder to where they are. So why would they even consider it? So we don't even broach it. We don't even try. We don't even put ourselves out there for it. This all comes down to identity work, because when you truly, truly become that person, so when you can look in the mirror and you can say, I am her. I am her right now. And all I need to do now is bridge the gap so my 3D reality catches up with my internal reality, with my internal frequency, with the timeline that I'm on internally. Now my 3D world just needs to catch up. And that's going to catch up because we're going to take those different actions. We're going to make those different moves. We're going to take those brave investments that we need to take in order to continue to grow, to continue to expand, to continue to elevate. But we're not going to say yes to those things if we don't truly believe that we are that version of ourselves. Because most of us do this backwards, right? We think, okay, once I get more clients, once I have more income coming in, once I have more time, once I get more clarity, when my kids are off at college, whatever the excuse is, right? And it is an excuse. You might not like that, but it is an excuse that we tell ourselves, because it's a way that our subconscious tries to keep us exactly where we are, tries to keep us safe in this little bubble, in this little world that we've built around ourselves now that we don't want to be in. But our subconscious mind does. So we have to fight against that. And we have to push against that. And we have to stretch against that, because we know that we're here for more. We know that we are here to experience more, to be more, to make more impact, more income, to live a life of a legacy. This is what it's about. This is why you're listening to this podcast. This is why you're in my orbit, because you're not here for mediocre, right? You're here for magnificence. You're here for multitude. You're here to make big moves. And in order to make those big moves, we have to embody that version of ourselves now. This is how we get to the point where we see that mastermind, or we see that high-level coach, or we see that massive growth opportunity, right? That is going to expand us, that is going to stretch us, that feels uncomfortable as fuck, but we know that that's where the growth is, right? The growth is in the discomfort. It's not in your comfort zone. Anything that you do that you're like, oh yeah, that's great, I'll do that now. That's not going to expand you. It's not going to stretch you. You want the moves that make you feel a bit anxious, that make your heart flutter, that make you go, that noise, right? Can I do this now? Can I justify this now? Am I ready now? Well, the answer is you're never going to feel ready. You either do it or you don't. And if you want to quote Nike, just do it, because that's the only way that you're going to bridge that gap. So how do we just do it? We embody that future version of ourselves. We take ourselves to that timeline and we say, what would she do? What would she do? Would she question spending whatever it is, $500 a month on her growth, on her expansion, on collapsing some of that time frame so that I can see the success that I desire in the next 3 months rather than the next 3 years? Would she doubt that? Would she make excuses? Would she put it off for another year? This is what we mean by identity work. And then we start to embody her every single day. Every single action we take, every single decision we make, every single investment that we want to do, we embody her. She is us. We are her. We are one and akin. This is identity work. This is true identity work. This is the deep, nitty, gritty, dark work that will collapse those timelines, that will enable you to quantum leap into that growth, that will enable you to make those big, bold, brave decisions that you need to make in order to get to where you want to get to, because you're not going to do it as the person that you are now. Fact. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because you got this far, babe. This is where this version of you can take you. Now, to get to the next level, we need to become someone else. And I don't mean as in someone that you're not. I mean as in finding that next level of you. She's already in there. She's already in you. You just need to bring her out. And that comes with confidence. That comes with courage. That comes with bravery. It comes with building that community, with getting around that camaraderie that will enable you to raise up, to level up, to elevate up. So, 11 minutes. I think this is our number one framework that we're going to be doing in the Elevate Mastermind, which is $444 a month. It's less than $500. It's 12 weeks, so 3 months, and it is going to collapse your timeline. It is going to stretch you. It's going to expand you. We are going to go through my whole visionary framework to get you from yearning to being, to get you from looking at that vision board to living that vision board, to get you from where you are now to where you want to be, to starting to take the actions that you need to take, to starting to show up how you need to show up, to starting to magnetize the dream clients that you know you're here to work with, to start being the thought leader, the visionary leader that you know you are. That's what this is all about, because you don't have to do it alone. Why would you want to do it alone? It's hard and it's lonely and it's a struggle on your own. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that, and I do not want to do it again. So let's do it together. You've got myself and you've got Jane as your guides and your mentors. We've been there, we've been through the trenches, and we're here to pull you out the other side without having to clamber through all of the mud, trying to brush past all of the bombs and the detonators and the barbed wire and all of the things that are going to get thrown at you. We've got you, babe. We've got you. We're just going to pull you out with as fewer scrapes as possible so that you can start stepping into that new timeline. So framework 1, identity. Listen up for the podcast tomorrow for framework 2. See you then.